Okay. So, good evening, all. Welcome to this session where you'll get to know about programs like Epsilon and RAMTP. Here, I have a bunch of kids who are as passionate about math as you all are. Tanish, Swasti, Raghav, and Sri Nandan were part of Epsilon India camp. Epsilon is an intense 2 week camp which seeks to nurture the mathematical needs of highly gifted young mathematicians. So, let's listen about them from them about the experience at the camp and all the fun they had. Over to you, Sri Nandan.
Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so before I start, let me quickly give a overview of what I'll be covering today. First off, I'll explain what Epsilon is. Next, I'll tell you why I chose Epsilon over all the options out there, what made it unique. We had received a lot of enquiries about the Epsilon camp, so instead of just explaining them to you, we decided to have an interview where we shoot those questions to former Epsilon students. And then I'll give you a quick and easy 4-step process to apply for Epsilon. First off, what is Epsilon? It's a 2-week summer camp for students who show high promise in mathematics. It's a gathering of students who are brought together by a common subject, math. It's held to emulate the original Epsilon USA, given its success in creating the next generation of mathematicians. Okay, so now that you have a brief idea of what Epsilon is, why should you choose Epsilon? Why did I choose Epsilon? The first thing is it encourages problem solving and mentorship, two qualities that go hand in hand and are perhaps the two most important things when it comes to achieving success in anything. Next, it boosts the students' confidence, which allows them to take responsibility for their work, and it also increases their overall productivity and efficiency. Last but not the least, it provides interaction with highly motivated peers and mathematicians, creating the ideal atmosphere for learning. It also gives the students an incentive to go the extra mile. Okay, so now it's time for the interview. First off, what was your favorite part of Epsilon Camp, Tanish?
My favorite part of the Epsilon camp was Dr. Thomas's lectures, which were early in the morning. I used to look forward to his sessions all the time. Having said that, all other sessions also brought in a lot of new knowledge, and so I always was curious and excited to attend.
What about you, Raghav?
My favorite part of Epsilon Camp were the guest lectures. In the guest lectures, not only did we learn math, but we learned a lot of applications of it. For example, AI, deep learning, machine learning, data science, etc.
Go ahead, Swasti.
So my favorite part of Epsilon Camp was that the TAs and teachers kept us engrossed in math for the 2 weeks, and the only word we knew was math. So that was very fun.
Okay, so Tanish, which professor did you like best and what topic did they teach? What did they do that made it really interesting for you?
I like Dr. Thomas the best because he made his sessions very interesting. I love the way he explained different topics like logic, proof methods like induction, and a lot more.
Yeah, go ahead, Raghav.
I love Dr. Thomas's sessions the most. I feel everybody must have loved his sessions. Apart from Dr. Thomas, I love Dr. Muralidharan's sessions the most because apart from theory, we explored combinatorics through different games.
I assume your favorite teacher is Dr. Thomas too, Swasti. Who is
Yes,
it?
yes. So the topic was methods of proofs. So for example, proof by induction and proof by contradiction, etc. And it was completely new for me. So and Dr. T of course took the sessions in a very interesting way. So
Yeah. So, what did you do during the office hours and did you find it enjoyable?
During the office hours, we discussed our problems with TAs and friends. We also had a lot of fun playing games like chess.
That must have been really fun. I remember.
Sorry, I have a question. What are office hours?
Okay, so office hours are it's like a segregated part of Epsilon camp where the students get together and collaborate on homework problems and generally whatever has been taught in that day. They get help from the TAs, who, if you don't know, are senior students uh, who already know the syllabus.
TAs as in teaching assistants.
Yeah, teaching assistants, senior arm students.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure others would have questions, but maybe we can reserve it till the end until the interviews are over. Srinandan, please continue.
I think you can continue, Raghav.
Okay, thanks. So I totally agree with Srinandan and Tanish. Uh, for me, like whatever we discussed in the office hours was extremely collaborative, and there was a lot of cooperation with everybody, and the sessions were very fruitful.
What about you, Swasti?
Yeah, so there are some breakout rooms. In one, you could collaborate and solve the homework problems. In another, you could stay alone and solve the problems peacefully. But most of the fellow students were in the collaboration breakout room. So, yeah. And then you could also stay in the main session if you had any doubts. And sometimes when we had solved all the problems, the TAs allowed us to play chess. So that was also fun.
What did you find unique, Tanish, about Epsilon?
There was a lot of things unique. First of all, there was a lot to learn under one umbrella. We got exposure to so many interesting topics. I love listening to all the professors, including the guest lecturers.
How about you, Raghav? What do you think?
Yeah. So in Epsilon camp, as Tanish said, we covered a lot of topics like hyperbolic geometry, algorithms, etc. All these kinds of advanced topics were taught to us in very simple ways, and I feel there are two things unique about Epsilon camp. One was the office hours, and the other was the way the faculty taught us. So the office hours helped us a lot in case you had a difficulty in understanding the concept and solving problems.
Okay, so what are your thoughts, Swasti?
Yeah, so Epsilon is not a training camp. Epsilon takes children who are already fascinated about math and helps them find like-minded friends and committed mentors.
How did you like interacting with like-minded peers? How different was it from your ideal, like your regular peer group?
Well, it was so much fun that all of us were on the same page in the subject. We could talk our hearts out about the subject too. There was a lot of exchange of ideas, and it was really amazing to listen to my peers.
Yeah.
Interacting with like-minded peers was fun. So usually when you have some incredible ideas or you have to solve a very hard question with your friends, they understand it the best. Then they share their ideas and you share yours, and so on. It becomes a very engaging, productive, and fruitful discussion, which usually does not happen with the people around you.
So how did you find this experience, Swasti?
Yeah, it is really awesome. I was thinking that finding friends who are passionate about maths is hard, but not when we have camps like Epsilon.
Okay, so it was the summer, and let's all face it, the thing we hate most in school or anything else is homework. So it was in the middle of summer and you had quite a bit of homework. How did you find? Was it anything like regular school?
Oh, well, not at all. The math problems here were fun to crack, unlike school homework, which is really boring. In fact, I had taken a 2-week break from my school to attend this camp, and I felt like the camp should never end. The camp should be year round with school for 2 weeks.
Yeah. So like no, this the homework given in Epsilon was not like regular school homework. And yeah, we had to do a bit of homework every day, that too in the summer holidays. But for you and me, maths is fun and we all love math. So solving the homework problems was not a problem. And there were quite a few challenging problems. But like once you solve them, the joy you get is like you cannot like express it in words.
I can totally relate to that. So, what are your thoughts, Swasti?
No, it was more like exploring. In school, we just have to solve. We don't explore much. But in Epsilon camp, we also explore.
So, what do TAs or teaching assistants do? Do you enjoy working for them? So, for those who don't know, let me tell what TAs are again. TAs are senior RAM students, those who either already done Epsilon or have done substantial coursework in most of the curriculum covered in the camp.
The TAs helped a lot in solving our doubts and making the camp run more smoothly. They were very helpful and always ready to guide us. And it didn't end there. Even today, almost 6 months after the camp, I can still interact with my TAs and they are always there to support me.
How was it for you, Raghav?
Yes. So I enjoyed working with the TAs a lot, and the TAs like try to help us while solving problems we are stuck at, and like they do by giving small hints and stuff. And like after we finish our homework, like we play chess, as Tanish said before. So yeah, I enjoyed working with the TAs a lot.
Are your experiences with TAs the same as Tanish and Raghav, Swasti?
Yes, so they helped me find answers to each and every doubt, however silly it might be. And they also graded our homework and told us to redo it if we had done it wrong.
So Epsilon camp was of considerable intensity. So regarding that, what do you think about the intensity of Epsilon camp?
The intensity of Epsilon camp, in my opinion, was between moderate and high. But yes, it was very challenging and that's why it was fun.
Yeah. So like in Epsilon camp, the kind of math we did was advanced, but like all the topics were explained very clearly and through different ways and fun games. So overall, I would say it was a great camp. The homework was great, everything was great, and like yeah, that's it.
Go ahead, Swasti.
So Epsilon camp was rigorous, but not in the way you might think. Every topic was explored deeply, and the deeper we went, the harder it was to follow. But the teachers always helped and motivated us to explore more, which made it really enjoyable.
Okay, so now we have arrived at the end of the interview. I hope that answered most of your questions. So by now, I'm sure most of you have decided to join us at Epsilon. So I'll quickly go over the 4-step process right now. It's actually really easy. The first step is to learn, which is basically to read the FAQs on the application process. So all of these can be found on the website, which Shweta ma'am will put in the chat, the link to it. And then now, once you read the FAQs, most of your doubts and confusion will be eliminated. The next step is to qualify. So you in this step you have to download and complete the qualifying algebra and exploratory test. So just so you know, these aren't like your regular tests where you finish in 2 or max 3 hours. It can take days at a stretch. I remember when I first applied for Epsilon, I downloaded these papers in like November, and it took me almost January to apply. The third step is to document. So you have to collect your certificates, accolades, and then talk to your teachers who can give you a recommendation letter. So once you've done all these steps, the last step, which is perhaps the most easiest step, is to register. there's a video which demonstrates the registration process in the website. Once you've gone through that, you can click the register button, which is also on the website, and complete the process. This is a quick snapshot of the whole process. You can take a screenshot if you want. It's in the website. So yeah. So I'm hoping to meet you all at Epsilon. Thank you.
I received some questions on chat. So is it okay if we just take 3-4 minutes more, Srinandan, Raghav, Tanish, and
Yeah,
Swasti?
we're
Okay.
totally fine with that.
Right. So a few questions that came was, is it a camp that was over, and so on and so forth. So let me just explain. Epsilon India is an annual camp. It means it happens every year. It has to be a residential program, but owing to the current pandemic situation, it is conducted online. Like Srinandan said, it is for 2 weeks. And 2 weeks means it's doing math the whole day for 2 weeks. So clearly it is not meant for the ordinary. It is meant for those who have that kind of thirst in mathematics. And it is an online camp in 2022. Hopefully we'll be able to do in 2023 also. And as you would also seen, so like Ms. Shweta Kulkarni shared this website epsilonindia.org. So on the website, you'll also find 2 qualifying tests. One is on algebra, the other is on exploration. Okay. And students who wish to get into the camp, they have to write that qualifying test and clear it and get into the camp. And it's for 9 to 12-year-old students. Okay. So some of you are asking what are the dates and other things. I would request you just go through the website and get all these basic details. But, talking about the qualifying test, I would like to hear your experiences, maybe, starting with Raghav. How was your experience in working on the qualifying test? If you can share with us, and just be very honest about
Yes,
it.
sir.
Yes.
Yes. So the first time I heard about Epsilon was at another examination, and that too when I was in 5th grade. So first time when I attempted the paper, I literally couldn't solve a single problem, and then I cried a lot. And then next year I again geared up and tried to solve the new problems. And it took me around a month or so to solve all the problems. But after solving all the problems, all the problems were challenging and fun, and it was very fun to do it.
Right. So like Raghav said, this the qualifying test is not a time bound test. That's something that you need to finish in 2 hours or 1.5 hours. You can take 2 months to work through it. Okay. Because there will be some concepts which you may not be introduced to, but if you want to learn those concepts, you can take that time to learn and then appear for the test. So let me just quickly ask Swasti, did you have to learn certain concepts to write the test? Did you do that? How did you go about it?
Yes, so for the algebra test, I had to learn some new concepts. So I learned them from my mother.
Right. So this is what is expected from students who take part in Epsilon, and it is not for the faint-hearted. Like I said earlier, you need to be really passionate and go over the test, and you'll get to see a glimpse of what these guys experienced during the camp. Like all of them said, some amazing faculties, and actually all of them are mathematicians, pure or applied mathematicians. You get to learn from mathematicians directly. You get into a pool of amazing students, so it's an amazing experience. So thank you so much, Raghav, Srinandan, Swasti, and Tanish for doing this for us and sharing your experiences about Epsilon. And if others have a question regarding Epsilon, we can take maybe 2 questions. More questions we'll be able to take on email. So we'll start with Viraj. Not saying anything. Yeah. Sorry, say that again.
I accidentally had.
All right, no problem. Kavin.
Sir, I'm 13.
Can you go back in time? Right. So if you are 13, you don't have to worry. We have something else that is coming up after this where you can apply. Okay. All right. So I promised 2 questions. So maybe Dev.
Yeah, so I would ask someone who had taken this, how did this camp help you? Like, what did you learn more? Like, anyone who has done this camp, like Raghav, Vasti probably, I don't know, Tanish, someone answer?
Yeah, I can take
So
that
the-
one.
Okay.
Or Swasti can.
Actually, we learned a little bit of everything. So I did just tell one concept we learned about stable matching. That is quite interesting, actually. And we learned many more like this. Learned many more in a fun and interesting way.
Great. That's it.
Thank you for jumping in, Siddharth. Srinandan, Swasti, if you want to add something, you can.
I just wanted to say that the syllabus is not the school type syllabus we have. It's a bit different and it's a bit hard to follow, but it's very interesting. Yeah.
So I just want to add that to answer to the question how it helps. So first off, we got to know the basics of a lot of things. Like for the proofs, Dr. T went through the very basics of how to do it, and then in combinatorics, Muralidharan sir started from scratch, and then we built upon that. And another thing that really helps is the camp taught us how to sit down for long periods of time and work over a problem. It also allows you to, it also teaches you how to solve hard problems. So some problems you may not be able to solve in a single day. Most of us haven't faced that sort of problems, and this camp gave the opportunity to learn how to confront those problems. So yeah, that's about it.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. For if you have any further questions, you can send an email to us. You have our email addresses, and we'll have them answered. And if time permits, sometime during the breaks, we can also answer that. May I now request Sriram to pin all the Ram TP participants who have joined in. Until then, let me just give you a quick this thing. See, why we chose this particular session to talk about these 2 camps is because these 2 camps are very special. Special in the sense these are not like many other math camps that happen, because these camps give students the opportunity to get exposed to a lot of topics that are dealt in, at college level or maybe beyond school syllabus while they are in school. So that will really help them in making good choices what they want to choose and so on. Okay, so which is why this camp is kind of very helpful. So I'll now move on to the next camp. May I request Hetvi, Rohan, Ruhi and Sanaya to switch on their videos so that your videos can be pinned. Yes, so we have let me just see where everybody is. All right, so there is Hetvi. Yeah, there's, this is me, and there's Rohan. Yeah, this is Shriram. Don't replace, do add. I'm doing it. Okay. Yeah, there is Ruhi. There is Ruhi. Did I miss anybody? I think we are us, right? Okay, that's us. Okay. So let me just give you a quick glimpse of who these people are. Very strange looking people who have joined us today. So all of them were part of an amazing program called Raising a Mathematician Training Program. In other words, we call it RAM TP. It's just that we don't do time pass. Of course, we do time pass over there, but then it's of a different level, which I hope to hear from some of them today. So this program is for students who are 13 to 15, or rather 8 to 10th grade, who are extremely passionate about mathematics. And it's a free of cost program if you get selected for it. And about 100 students get selected across the country. And every year this camp happens in the month of May. Again, last year and the year before that, we had to do it online. But otherwise, it's a residential camp, 1 week residential camp, power packed like Epsilon. And this is where we do a lot of amazing stuff. So I'll do a quick introduction about all these people who have come here, and I have certain questions which I'll ask them. Probably that will give you an overview of what kind of a program this is about, and maybe you can, after that, if you have any questions, you can ask them. Okay. Yes. So starting with Rohan. Rohan Bhadsavale is an aspiring CA. He is going to appear for his CA final exams in another 2 years. And Rohan was part of RAMTP 2021, 2019, 18, and 17 also, right? Rohan. Yeah, 17 as well, I think. You're on mute.
16 also, sir.
16 also. I'm so sorry. Okay. So 16 as well, right? So he's a repeater. We call them repeaters. Repeaters not in the sense of people who fail, but who keep repeating, coming up camp after camp. And Rohan is an amazing tabla player. He plays tabla, like one of the best players I've ever seen. And he can bring in beautiful mathematical aspects into music. So some of us who are doing, in square roots had started with math and music. If you want to see it in real, you have to listen to Rohan, and hopefully we'll get him sometime again when RAMTP happens in physical mode. So that's Rohan for you. And then we have Sanaya. Sanaya is in 12th grade right now. She's from Mumbai, and she also loves math from the core of her heart. I know her since the last 6 or 7 years now. She qualified for INMO for about 4 times, and she is also a gold medalist for another Olympiad exam called Junior Mathematics Olympiad. And she has also attended an amazing program called PACT, Program for Algorithmic and Combinatorial Thinking, that happens at Princeton. So she went all the way to Princeton for 1 month to attend that program while she was in 10th standard. And in India, you know how 10th standard is like, like Ghode Ka Patta, you don't look here and there. And she bunked school for about a month, and she went to US to attend this camp. So that's Sanaya for us. And then we have Hetvi. Hetvi is also from Mumbai. Hetvi is into a lot of things. 2 things that are very close to her heart. 3 things actually. One is me. The other 2 things are math and art. Okay. So she's an amazing artist, and she loves math a lot. She does a lot of you can see her background, right? You can see a lot of fun things that she would have placed here and there. And you guys are going to have her session tomorrow on origami. And apart from this, she's an amazing cuber. She can solve, I don't know, some 20-30 different types of cubes. She also does cubing workshops for RAM and otherwise as well. And she loves chess. She had got selected to this program called Math Path, which is another program for students who are passionate about mathematics that happens in US. She went to US on a full scholarship while she was in what, 9th grade, or 10th grade, 9th grade, right? She went on a full scholarship there, and she attended that camp. And then we have Ruhi. Ruhi was from Pune, or I should say is from Pune, but right now she is in Germany. She is in her 11th grade. Sorry, where did I go? Yeah, she is in Switzerland. I'm sorry, she is in Switzerland. She is in her 11th grade, and she loves math, definitely, but she's an athlete. She's a swimmer. She has participated in state as well as national level competitions. And she's an amazing poet, and she is also a Potterhead, like many of you. She loves Harry Potter, and she even creates poems based on Harry Potter is this thing. So that's a quick overview about all of them. I mean, I can go on for the next half an hour, but I'll just cut it here. And let me just throw some questions, out of my head. Okay. So I'll borrow some questions that Shrinandan had asked for Epsilon. I'll steal it from him, and feel free to just unmute and speak, any four of you. Why do you think a program like RAMTP is necessary? Just anybody can unmute and say.
Can I go? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think there are a few things. First, that I guess this point was also said in the Epsilon thing, that our normal school curriculum doesn't, personally for me, it doesn't cover or teach maths the way it is supposed to be taught, or the way you're supposed to have the space for exploration. And because of that, there is a lot of, what is the word? There's a lot of rumors that maths is not such a very interesting subject per se. The other major thing is the peer group that you get. There is no other place where you will find so many like-minded people, where you can discuss so many things, and they're as passionately discussing about, even they don't care about food and sleep. Even they are like, oh, we need to finish this first, only then we'll eat. So, and it's a very special experience to get. So I think that's why RAM and camps like Epsilon are pretty necessary.
Thank you, Sanaya. Would any of you like to say how is a normal day in RAM TP like? And you can say maybe for batch A, B, and C, and then for batch D. Rohan, you go for batch D. So let somebody else say for batch A, B, or C when you were part of those batches.
I can go. So for batch A, my first year in RAMTP, I was in one of the three batches, batch A, B, and C. And even though it was my first year, like quickly, like after the second day, I made a bunch of friends. So we would wake up at about like 5 o'clock in the morning and do math just because we wanted to do math. But regular classes would start at about 8:39, I think. 8:39, something around that time. We would have breakfast, then our regular classes would start. They would go on up till 12. Then again we would have 1.5 2 hours break for lunch, then again classes. And there would be break between classes, like one number theory, one combinatorics. There'll be 5-10 minutes break in between, but still we would have continuous back-to-back classes up to about 5:36 in the evening. And then after that we had free time, but usually in our free time also we would have dinner, and then we would all gather around, either with Vinay sir or any other professors there, or just among us, and we would discuss any, if not particularly math, that we have to study some different ideas or anything related to math or logic, and we would play games with involved math and logic and things like that. So that would go on up till 9 or 10, until Vinay sir would come and tell us to go to sleep, which was compulsory. But we, none of us actually wanted to sleep. We would have so much fun just doing math. So we would spend our entire day doing math. It's not boring. It's actually really fun. It sounds like entire day doing math sounds boring, but it's very, very fun. Yeah, that's it. That's a typical day.
Okay, I'll go about batch D. So you guys might be thinking that Hetvi told so many things what they might be doing in batch D, but for batch D it's very much simple. It's just the whole timeline is the same, except we don't have breaks, and we have only one professor, who's this amazing person we have got, Harihan sir. And he's that kind of person that never gets tired to teach, or rather never gets tired to learn everything new. And the whole day, right? I think our lectures used to begin at 7:30 in the morning, and then directly we would have a 5-10 minutes break, and we would go for lunch. After the lunch, we would again start with Hariharan sir's lectures. The day would go on until 7:30. We had dinner after that, and sometimes if the syllabus is not getting completed, or rather the targets which we had set are not getting completed, we would have sessions after dinner also for about 1 hour. And this was the continuous cycle for 6 days. And not even Hariharan sir nor any of the students would get tired of this, because everyone was so much committed to learning those things. And even aside from that, you don't want to skip those lectures. Like, it's not just math. I mean, of course there is a big chunk of math in that, but there is so much to think, so much to explore in all those sessions. It is like RAMTP is the one program where we get to think, and that is the serious thing that we are lacking nowadays. Like, even if we are at home, we never get time to think. We do the things which are told to us, and our whole time goes in that. And while we are in Hariharan sir's lectures, or rather in batch D sessions, there is a ample time for us to think about the question he poses, and rather think why these things are happening, or rather why the person who would have thought about this would have done it this way, not just giving us some exercises, not giving us some problems to solve, and directly teaching us some things and going on to the next topic. So for batch C, it has been a completely amazing experience of learning. So that's it, the schedule for batch D.
Thanks, Rohan. Just to mention, batch D is the senior most batch where students who come like Rohan, who come as repeaters, they are after 2 or 3 years they get into batch D. I thought I'll put Hari sir here because he is the culprit for spoiling these batch D guys. If after breakfast they would be in that room, and during lunchtime we had to pull them out of that room, and then he would come. So sorry, Hari sir, for disrupting your lunch right now. He's in Germany, and Hari sir, maybe one incident or something if you'd like to share, or anything about your experience with batch D. We'll quickly do that, and then we'll let you leave, enjoy your dinner, and I'll continue with others.
I mean, not dinner. I'm having my lunch actually.
I'm sorry, lunch. Yeah.
Since I'm teaching, my lunch schedule is a little scattered. But the one thing that I would like to say, it's very easy. My calculation is very simple. I teach what I like to teach, and not what students like to learn. So that makes it very easy for me. So I teach what I like, and I hope or assume that students will also like those things. But I teach those things that are important for them in some area. So whether they take applied math, or even if they take pure math, it will be useful or important for them. And that way, I hope that when the actual time comes, when they use these concepts, they will be able to relate what they learned many years back. That's the hope. But the bigger goal, of course, is to make them think, and make sure that they actually use this as an opportunity to apply the same thought process in anything that they do. It could be any other topic, it could be any subject, but these skill sets are transferable. The concepts are not transferable. Of course, the concept is very much specific to that particular subject, but the approach, the way you do things is completely transferable. And of course, in batch D, we don't give breaks. I mean, the reason is very simple. In other batches, you give breaks because one teacher has to go from one class to the other class. So there is a natural reason for giving break. But here there is no natural reason for giving the break. The only reason why you want to give break in these sessions is either I am tired or they are tired. But I don't get tired because they are never tired. So once you have the students who don't get tired, who don't ask for breaks, then I don't feel like taking a break either. Maybe I don't know whether they're not asking the break is because they don't need a break, or they're so afraid of me that they will feel like letting me down or something, that I don't know. But this is typically what happens in batch D. We do a lot of fun things. At least to me, it's fun.
I'm sure it is at least as much fun as it is for you, as for them. So we'll let you go enjoy your lunch, and I'll remove you from the spotlight. I hope it's just the five of us who's on the spotlight right now. All right. So you're talking about all these serious stuff, and then let's come to some fun part. Any memorable incident that any of you would like to share from your RAMTP experience? I'm sure there will be a lots and lots, but any one incident, if any of you would like to go for.
Yes, sure.
Yes, Ruhi.
In the residential camp, that was
Yeah.
the first time that we, I mean, I went to RAMTP. It was in 2018. So, of course, there was a lot of fun stuff. Just some of them were making connections with so many people, like Hetvi, Sanaya, Rohan. We all, after dinner, like Hetvi mentioned in the schedule, we used to all gather around and start working on something. Like somebody would just mention something, some problem that they had, and everybody would start working on it. And then Vinay sir had to come and pull us, like, no, it's bedtime, go to bed. And I remember there was a guest lecture, Mr. Iyengar, who had come, and he spoke about artificial intelligence and logic during the first camp. And after that, he just came out of the classroom after dinner, and we were all gathered over there just listening to his stories. He was a physicist, so the topic went from AI to fractals to black holes to everything. And I mean, it was so much fun just hearing him talk about it, and you get so engrossed that you forget about time. Uh, Another incident would be the cultural program, of course. So the cultural program is where students volunteer to perform something, like, and someone can um, solve the Rubik's cube in a certain amount of time. Someone can sing, someone can dance, someone can read out a poem on Harry Potter. And one thing that happened was Pradeep sir, he did stand-up comedy, and after like that performance, everybody was left laughing on the floor for such a long time. And till the end of camp, we would always go back and be like, Pradeep sir's comedy is the best. And it was friendly. It was just all in good fun. And that was one of the lighter aspects of camp, I would say. And yeah.
You just took me there, Ruhi. You just took me there. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share?
So
one
just to
more?
add on to what you said, I don't know why, but I remember this conversation very, very specifically about Iyengar sir, that as she said, we're talking about a lot of things. We're discussing string theory, and it came to a point where he was talking about how an electron was mapped on the string to figure out the knots. So it is not that we stay on one subject, as she said. It's a mixture of a lot of things. It goes from maths to physics to chemistry. We discuss bio, we discuss economics. So it's a pretty much a mixture of everything. Also, cultural program, you get to see the non-strict part of your teachers, which is fun. So, and what else? And the meditation periods. Like in the morning, there's a session where it's a compulsory session where everyone has to come, and there is like a meditation period where Vinay sir, usually there's a shlok that he'll say and he'll explain. You just have to close your eyes and listen, and it is very peaceful. It is and I think it is very much needed in the camp with all the hyper anxiety of like hyperactivity. We need that time zone of just sitting down, closing our eyes, and listening to him speak. It's really good.
Also, if you guys are lucky enough, you might get to play cards with Vinay sir and Pradeep sir. Also, whole of if there is one lucky day, every one of you gets to play Mafia, wherein after 9 o'clock, everyone gets assembled there, and for an hour and a half, everyone is playing the game. So this is not just we don't do just these things there, but probably just one day or two there might be some fun stuff like this just to cheer you up, because many times there are very small kids who are coming away for the first time and not staying with their parents, so it just lightens up the mood for the entire surrounding and you feel homely there. So that's the fun part of it.
Thanks, Rohan. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
I want to say that just by seeing all of us laugh, you should realize how much fun we have, because whenever we think of them, we are also happy whenever we think of those memories. So yeah, it's a very fun place.
I'll tell you my fun moment in every camp. Okay, this is where I actually feel like laughing. On the first day, many a times most of the students are staying away from home for the first time. Okay, and parents would be coming with all seriousness, and they'll say, yeah, sab theek ho jayega, you go. And more than the kids, the parents are scared that they are alone, so they will come and say, this for the first time he or she is staying alone, take good care of them, if there is anything, you just be can they use the phone. So we have a strict no phone electronic gadgets policy, where everybody uses their phone only in a certain time of the day to call their parents. So the phone is there, kept switched off. And the first day maybe they call, mama, I'm remembering you, and this and that. And then after that, I start getting calls from their parents the second day, third day, fourth day. My child is not even calling me. It's been 4 days. I don't know what is happening. Their phone is switched off. I don't know how to reach to them, and so on. And then we see all of them so involved and enjoying with each other, and they don't remember their families, including us faculty members. We don't call our families. So they know that the moment we step into the campus, and the moment we step out, so during that time period, no phone calls, nothing. We also don't take phone calls from outsiders. And on the last day of the camp, it is so much joy to see everybody's faces lit up. And then people would be crying, but the tears would be for a different reason, that you have to go back home now, probably to the same boring parents. But then when you come on the first day, you really feel that you're going to miss your family and things like that. But here you find a whole new family out there, and you make so many friends, with whom you can connect with for the rest of your life, who are from different parts of the country. I think every time on the first day when parents come and say that, I laugh inside, and I should not say this aloud, but on the last day, I would see that, okay, it's the same parent, they are so happy with this. So yeah, so that I also felt that I should really add on to that. We are almost coming to the close, and I would want to have some Q&A with the audience as well. So I'll just ask maybe one more question. Um, and this is specifically to Rohan. Rohan, how did RAMTP, if it ever did, bring some kind of change in your academic pursuit, right? I mean, what were you planning to pursue when you were in school, and how did you go about it, and what was the intervention that RAMTP brought in your life?
Okay, so I first attended the RAMTP program while I was entering my 10th standard, and that was about 5 to 6 years ago. And like every normal kid, I was planning to enter into the science stream and do some kind of thing. I had not decided exactly what to do upon, but probably I was going to pursue engineering with computer science and all. And that is generally everyone's dream right now. So what happened during RAMTP is I got to know about a side which I had never known before, or rather I was not made to know about it, because generally while learning in school curriculums, all we are made aware is about the maths that you learn at normal school level, which is generally normal stuff, and probably trigonometry and all. But when I came to RAMTP, I got introduced to many subjects like financial mathematics and econometrics. So these are the kind of subjects that you never get to learn before your 10th standard, or rather before the 12th standard itself. So while you make your career choice in 11th standard, whether to take science stream or commerce stream, you have already decided upon what you are going to become in your life. And so before exploring the areas itself, it is like you have decided your career path. So what helped during RAMTP to me is that I got introduced to these various subjects. And when I had taken 11th science, I shifted to 12th commerce by just seeing Hari sir. It was not kind of I'll not say that he let me into it, but I would rather say that he was a good influence, and rather he was an example for all of us that it is not just the science stream or the pure sciences which can help you do interesting stuff. There are also other fields in commerce stream, and rather after a period of time, everything gets connected in itself. So it doesn't matter that whether you are pursuing the commerce stream or the science stream. In the end, you are doing those things which you like. So uh, RAMTP helped me dive into different areas, and surely if you any of you guys are interested into pursuing the commerce stream, also the financial mathematics part or the econometrics part, it is a very beautiful field. You get to explore stuff, you get to do rigorous maths, so it's not like pure sciences involve very much math and these applied fields are, it is the same like the pure physics. You have to apply the logic and use it in deriving some results. So I would say that RAMTP helped me find a path of my own, which I'm still exploring, obviously, but surely it has helped me in finding the paths for the thing which I want to do.
Thanks, Rohan. And I asked this question
Yes, sir.
specifically to Rohan because I think he made a very brave choice that most students wouldn't do. You know, he took up 11th standard science and 12th standard is moving to commerce. So he has no idea what happened in 11th standard. And then, you know, he pursued, and I even remember asking Rohan, are you sure you want to do this? He said, yeah, I'm quite sure about it. So like he rightly said, you know, we get exposed to different things. I can speak for Sanai. I can say that she found her love for economics and finance after coming to RAMTP and doing those same, you know, something similar for Hetvi and Ruhi as well. They found areas of their interest after they came to RAMTP. So I think it's a lot of talking that we guys did. If you have any questions you want to ask these guys, anything, it could be anything related to RAMTP and other things. So you can ask. I'll start with Kavin.
How to apply? You didn't.
How to apply? Yeah. So the application process is pretty simple. You visit our website. The applications will open in the month of probably December or January, and then you need to fill up a form. There is an application fee of 150 rupees, and then there is a selection process. There is a committee who sits to do the selection, and top 100 students get selected for the program. What you need to be careful about is how you fill up the form, because we get some forms which are filled like railway reservation forms. What I mean by that is without much details. You know, if there is a question like, why do you want to do this program? They say, because we like mathematics. But then everybody who's applying for the program likes mathematics. So the selection committee, how will they know how much you like mathematics? You will have to put in some extra thought and, you know, fill it up with as much details as possible and so on. Yeah, Kevin, did that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Rutvika?
Sir,
Yes.
as you told, this Epsilon camp is a residential camp. Which place does it located?
Right. So, last to last year, we are planning to have it in Cochin, but then, because of COVID, we changed. Now, next year, when we plan residential, we'll decide the venue accordingly. And I think you are asking for the venue. Correct me if I'm wrong, to understand how far the place is from your place, right? Am I correct, Rutvika?
Sir, I'm not able to get you, sir. Can you come on?
No. You are asking where this is conducted so that you can know how far it is from your home. Am I correct? Okay. Right. So because this is a national level camp, right, it would be in some state, and rest of the people, other states students will have to come to that particular state, right? So this distance, I feel, is always in our head. We may choose to travel to a different state altogether for vacation, right? That would be very exciting. So we need to be a little more, we need to start opening up to exploring, going to different places for attending camps, because that is where you will find your I'm not saying that you don't think like that, I'm just saying in general. RAMTP, when the residential thing will start, most probably it will be in Chennai Mathematical Institute. Epsilon is yet to be finalized for 2023, but 2022 is going to be online.
Okay, sir.
Okay, Rutvika. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? No questions? Yes, one question has come on chat. Which batch will be newcomers be selected? So newcomers are selected based on, so again, based on their form, based on the inputs they give in the form, they are divided into different batches. And that's about it. So the batch really doesn't matter. We should not be worried. It's not that batch B gets something more than batch A and less than batch C. It's not like that, right? So whatever is your appetite, you will get enough food in mathematics over there if you come over there. Okay. Bhairav, question.
My question is there any minimum age requirement for RAM TP?
So generally the minimum age is 13. There are students who have been younger than 13 and have been selected, but those cases are very rare. It's almost like 1 in the 100 who have got selected. Okay. Because at that time we did not have Epsilon, when these students came in, but now we have Epsilon, which is for 9 to 12. So students of 9 to 12 generally they do Epsilon, and 13 to 15 they go do RAM TP.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Is that all, Bhairav? Okay. Right. Again, some of you are asking where will the Epsilon test and blah blah blah. It's there on the website. Just check it out. Okay. I think we can have some more good quality questions. We have about 4 minutes. Anything anybody wants to ask? Otherwise, I'll just ask 1 or 2 questions and then we will conclude here. If you have a question after, okay, Adityan. Yes, Adityan.
Sir, how will we be notified of the RAM TP, like when it's starting?
You need to check the website, or if you stay in this WhatsApp group that has been created, we'll keep sharing about different programs, competitions, camps that are happening, and then you will be notified.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, welcome. Karthik?
Yes, sir. I'm 12 currently, and next year March I'll be turning 13. So can I still sign up for Epsilon?
You can send us an email and then we'll discuss about it.
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, one question that came in the chat is, what is expected to be known before applying for RAM TP? What concepts should we learn beforehand to apply for RAM TP? Let me give that question to these 4, and anyone who would like to answer that. What concepts do you need to know before coming to RAM TP?
I'd say just basic addition, subtraction is enough. Like if you want if you get admitted into batch ABC, you learn almost everything from basic, like if it's algebra or combinatorics, and they teach it to you from the very base to yeah, and you don't need to know any there are no prerequisites. If you know some concepts, that's good. If you know basic algebra, matlab x with one variable, how do you work, that's good, but it's probably done in school before you apply. So just very basic things, nothing extra.
I guess for applying, there are no prerequisites. But if I'm not wrong, I don't remember the first time that I applied what had happened, but you get reading material after you have gotten selected to work with before you go to the camp. So whatever you need to know, whatever the so-called prerequisites are, they will be provided to you to with enough time to study them. So for applying, you don't need any prerequisites.
Yeah, you don't need any medals and other things. If you have some competition achievements and all those things, they are just added bonus, but it's it's basically your passion that will be looked at. I mean, do you have the appetite to do about a full day mathematics? I can't say even 6 hours, 7 hours. It's full day mathematics for 7 days at a stretch, right? If it is, you should apply. Yeah. All right. So I think we are about time. Maybe I'll ask one more question if there are no further questions. Okay. Right. So okay, Hariharan sir. Yes. So let's end with a sweet dish. Yes, Hariharan sir.
People are underplaying the prerequisite. I mean, yes, there is no prerequisite as such, but you still need to know certain level of algebra, geometry. It's not that you have absolutely no understanding of any of these concepts and you just apply. You will probably be, feel like you're lost. You don't feel like you are at the right place. And to give you some perspective, let's say in batch D, you literally cover like half semester course of a university level where I teach. So it's basically a half semester course that happens in 7 days, which is crazy amount of workload. So um, be ready to put in that effort. That is definitely the key. And whatever pre-reading material will be provided to you, please make sure that you read. I mean that's the intention of providing the pre-reading material to the students. So some things that I just wanted to clarify here.
Yeah, right. So it won't be like school where usually teachers ensure that even the last child has understood. There will be a lot of effort from the faculty, but equal amount of effort, if not more, will be expected from the students as well. And while we are doing all these things, we can do something like we can spend our summer doing math. That's not my, yeah. So that's about RAMTP. If you want more details, definitely you can visit the website and you'll get more details. Let me just thank all of you, Sanaya, Rohan, Hetvi, and Ruhi, for joining us today and sharing your experiences of RAMTP. It just, virtually, not virtually, I mean, mentally, it just took me back to those residential camp days and how I wish, we could have it as early as possible again. So I look forward to all you new students as well. You can apply and make use of the opportunity. Okay. So with that, we'll take a pause here and we'll meet tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Okay. All right. Rohan, Sanaya, Hetvi, Ruhi, and Raghav, Shrinandan, Swasti, and Tanish, if you can just stay back. Hariharan sir, of course, you too. Nothing like it. And others, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.